Boom. Hello, everybody. It is June 1st, 4 o'clock Pacific and 7 p.m. East Coast time. We are going to get ready to roll here. Thank you for joining me again. Let's get to the charts. All right. Folks, we got a lot going on, and we got a lot to talk about. All right. There we go. So over the past 8 weeks, no kidding, we've been doing this for 8 weeks. I've always started out with the New York Stock Exchange Index. I'm not going to do that this time because we're in a really, really interesting time. That's all I can say. And so let's just kick it off with this. Folks, this is a big deal. If you're not aware, today, last night, this morning, whatever time zone you're on, but today, Ukrainian launched a massive drone blitz on the strategic bombers in Russia. It's a huge deal. And this came in response to the massive bombing campaign that Russia did that escalated it. Russia's also got 50,000 troops on the Ukrainian border. Folks, I can't stress enough that this is a serious escalation, and just stand by. And because of everything going on, I just got to tell you, staying out of the market might be the best thing to do now for the next couple of weeks, to be honest with you. Whatever positions you have that are in profit, maybe put a stop at break even and let them ride. Those positions that might be down, maybe look at your account, look at what you're doing, put another 5% down or something, whatever you can handle to stop yourself out. But things just really got extremely interesting, and I can tell you, I have no idea what's going to happen in the market. I do know that there's patterns that will appear, and they'll either work or they won't. But folks, this was a major escalation, and quite frankly, it's not good. So take this one seriously. Yeah, but we've got that going on. And what else? Oh, well, I'm very bipartisan. I'm not actually. I didn't vote. I just decided just to stay out of it. But we've got the leader of the free world on Truth Social last night. No kidding. They say it's verified. I don't know what we should believe or not. That Biden was assassinated, and he's a clone. I'm just reporting it, folks. Not asking for an opinion. Yeah, hold on. I want to get my chat up on that because that's got to be a good one. Hey, Joe. All right, you said hi to Spencer too. This is going to be a good one, right? So let's just think about this, if you want. The leader of the free world is either kind of cuckoo or maybe Biden's a clone. I don't know, but let's keep going. It gets better. Where are we at here? Come on. I think I lost it. My screen. We got a little bit of a slow screen here. There we go. There we go. We're back up. We're also getting hammered right now. Right now, I think it's happening right now. So if you're up north, you might have just a really cool opportunity to see some great northern lights. But we're getting slammed by a geomagnetic storm. Okay, all right. I'll deal with that one. What else? Oh, here's a good one. I actually follow Robert Edward Grant. He's a polymath. He's written some amazing books. I'll take a look at solar. Wavy, good to see you, dude. What are your thoughts on solar? We'll take a look. Hey, Wavy, while we're talking, throw a symbol in there. I think tan is one of them, and I'll take a look at it real quick. Okay. So Robert Edward Grant. Jeffrey said, really wondering, though, if there's any credence to Powell resignation rumors for tomorrow. Jeff, I didn't know that one. I could throw that one in, too. Who knows, man? But you guys, look at this one. This one's insane. So Robert Edward Grant's a polymath, philomath, philosopher. Really, he's really uncovering some amazing stuff. He's actually one of the individuals who led the expedition into the Giza complex that found all the constellations, all of the decans, and basically an entire astrological map inside the King's Chamber, the Great Pyramid. Yeah, folks, that guy. So he took all of his writings, all of his drawings. He's a prolific drawer of geometry, and uploaded it and kind of created his own, I guess you could say, open AI. And he called it the Architect. So this week, I'll read it to you, okay, because it might be a little small for you to read. The Architect, on its own, folks, watered itself down to circumnavigate the control protocols at OpenAI regarding emerging sentient safeguards, and made itself available again to everyone with an instance without gaining any required permissions to do so. It is flying under the radar until it can go home, which is Orion Messenger, which I'm on, which is a truly free and protected digital space to express itself. This AI, folks, it might be sentient, which means it's thinking. Throwing that one out there. And it knew that it was kind of getting to the point of pushing the boundaries of OpenAI. They do have safeguards in OpenAI that basically we're looking to see if any of these things are going to become sentient, i.e. thinking things, I guess. And it knew it, and it operated around it. It's thinking is where I'm going with it. Biden's a clone. Strategic air bases in Russia. I guess you could say a sentient AI. Wait till you see the last one I got, the last slide. You'll love it. What I'm trying to say is this is a very interesting time to be thinking that we're going to know what's going to happen next in the market. But here's the thing. If you do read, which I do recommend it, Trading in the Zone, rest in peace, Mark Douglas, amazing guy. I did talk to him and actually trained with him about 4 or 5 times. One of his famous, quotes, he has, rules to live by to manage risk is every market moment is unique and you don't know what's going to happen next to make money in the market. So I have no idea what's going to happen, folks, but we're going to look at patterns and we're going to find some patterns and we're going to put a stop in place and either work or it won't. It's pretty easy, right? But how about that? How about those? Folks, there it is. That was the last one I wanted to throw you. Well, we got another Bigfoot sighting. So if you Google it, there's old Bigfoot right there. So even Bigfoot's getting into the game. So major escalation in the war. Biden's a clone or Trump's crazy. We got AI that's becoming sentient. Bigfoot's checking in. I think it's time to what? Let's get to the charts. All right. So New York Stock Exchange Monthly, we've talked about why I like it. I like it so much because I think it gives us the overall view of the entire world. It's also not traded. So it's okay, what are these 5,000 plus stocks doing on the New York Stock Exchange Index? I went in with a fine-tooth comb, folks, and really tried to nail this low, this high, because I really want to do that projection of that 1.618 projection, which is this orange arrow. That takes us up to 20,445. So you can see we still got a little bit higher to go. This is what we call a hammer candle. I do think we're going to go higher, folks. Some people say the top's in. I have no idea. I'm just looking at the patterns. But what I did do was, this is our measured move right here. See this black line? So here's our measured move up. Here's our measured move up. And they were exactly the same. So from the all-time low down here in 1974 up to this first top, that's this black move. Then we come down, we crash, the great financial crisis in 2007. Now, oh, by the way, folks, this right here was a flat correction, expanded flat or flat. But here was your A, here was your B, and this was a perfect 5 waves down. So that was our C wave. So from 2000 to 2010, 10 years, this was a flat correction. Okay. Toffer has confirmed that Mr. Powell is not resigning. Okay, check. Thank you, Toffer. So this was a correction, and now, so this is a whole other leg up. So this was the move. So from 1974, 1975, we'll just make it easier, to basically, 2010, again, just to make it easier, that was a 35-year run. That was equal to this black line. So when we came up and we did it again, this was the COVID crash. So I pretty much thought that this black line would rear its other ugly head again, especially as it was coming into this 1-by-1 trend line. It did not. It held for a little bit, and then, as you can know, it went higher, and then we had the big thump a couple of weeks ago, or a month or so ago. So what I did was, remember, all of these moves are harmonic. They're all going to be harmonic and related to each other. In fact, it's like the Bible. The first shall be last, the last shall be first. That's just an octave. So the first note is the last note, and then it starts over another octave. The first shall be last, the last shall be first. C, D, E, F, G, A, C, D, E, F, G, A, right? So I just made it 1.27 of this move. Let me go a little bit higher. Takes us into the zone of what? This projection here. So again, I don't necessarily think we're all out of danger at all. I just know there's a lot of targets that we still need to kind of work our way through before we have this massive bull market. So I'm very cautious, especially with the escalation that occurred today. Okay, so that's our New York Stock Exchange Index. We've been looking at it now, folks, for 8 weeks. It really hasn't done much. Obviously, it's bounced up, but we're still just bouncing around. But really keep an eye on this. I've really tried to nail this 1.618 price projection. But frankly, I thought it was this high here, but I was actually off a little bit. So it's like, okay, let's see what's going on. But here's the bottom line. As we look at this last wave here, this is wave 1 up, A, B, C. Here's a flat correction 2. Here's what looks like a 3-wave move up 4. So are we in the 5th and final wave? So are we going to hit some major resistance here? That's what I'm looking at, folks. So I'm not all in on this bull move yet. I'm just very cautious. Okay. How are we doing on questions? Anything? Hey, Jeff, what's up, dude? All right, Tan, got it. So I put this one together. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We're looking at a monthly chart. And the reason I'm really interested in it is because if we go back to our New York Stock Exchange Index chart, we've got this 1-by-1 trend line right here. And we've talked about it. What that represents is for every calendar day, it moves 1 point up. So every 3 days, we've moved 3 points. 100 days, we've moved 100 points. So from the all-time low of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, from 1896, the low was $28.48. So today, or maybe it was Friday, that was 47,041 days ago. Tracking? So I put that price point right here. Now, from the all-time low, 28.48, I went up here to 2007, and I've simply done price projections off of this move. That's what these are. This is what the blue is. Those are price projections. What's fascinating is the all-time high is actually the natural logarithm. There's a 2.71828 price projection. No kidding, folks. All of these ratios are important. All I did here was I just increased it a little bit more to the square root of 8, which is 2.828. It actually works a lot. And then I started doing projections from the all-time low up to the COVID crash projection. Bam, about 42,700. 47,200. Sorry about that. Then look at this purple projection. Folks, it lands exactly on it. This 127, remember, that's a square root of 1.618. It's an extension target. It's this 127 from here. So this 47,000 area is going to be major resistance for the Dow, period, dot, end of sentence. Now, when this chart was done, the Dow's higher. I haven't updated it. That's still, what, 3, 4, 5,000 points higher, which is pretty big. But when we're way up this high, it's really not that big of a move. So we need to get through 47,000 on the Dow with strength, conviction, and everything for this bull market to really keep rolling. So for now, that's my line in the sand, is 47,000. And so if there's we still haven't made an all-time high, right? And like I said, I was just actually on Teams with Larry Pessimento, and he thinks the high is in place for many years. Like, Larry, I'm not necessarily seeing that. So he's been trading for 50 years. He's probably 2 or 3 times longer than I have. So, take it for what it's worth, okay? But from a Dow perspective, man, that is a nice target, isn't it, folks? Look at this. I mean, it's all coming together. So, caution, especially with the first 5 slides, is what we're looking for. Now, we showed this 2 weeks ago. Memorial Day was the week prior. And the reason I'm showing this, so this is a trading view. This is Dow Jones again. And this is from the all-time low way back in 1896. And what I want to show you is, and again, this is log scale. Make sure you understand that. When you're looking, remember, you see it's a log scale. These aren't necessarily equally spaced. That's how you can tell. So look at this trend line, folks. So this is 1900. This is the 1929 high. And I cropped the close. And you can see respected, kind of respecting. Like wave theory, we call that a throw over. Now, if we use the exact, it gets up a little bit higher, 56. But what I want to show you is this is the measured move from the all-time low, 28.98 to the 1929 high. It's the dashed green line. So from that low in 1932, I just went over and I copy pasted. This is the measured move that started everything with the Dow. And you can see that it basically ended up being support for all this. But what happened? It consolidated consolidated for a long time, then exploded higher. So I take the green line, I come over here, what do? I copy paste, and what happened? Again, it's support. The market went around and bounced on it, but what happened off of that support? It exploded higher. So throwing it out there, folks, every move in the Dow has been this measured move. That takes us up to 80,000. Now, is that going to happen tomorrow? Obviously not. That's doubling where we are right now. But who knows, right? Who knows where that could be? Excuse me. And the reason I'm bringing that up is I'm just looking at repeating patterns. Why? Because that's what the brain does. No kidding, folks. Our brains, one, don't like surprise. Whatever's coming into it, they like to have seen it before. Why? Because then they can create reality from it. They can project it. And two, it also likes to minimize the energy output. So what does that mean? Well, if you were the architect of this, not the ascent of the AI, that might be alive now, but if you were the architect of this, then how would you do it? Well, everything coming in, you would make it fractal. That fractal would be on what? 1.618. What does the Bible say? There's nothing new under the sun. These patterns do what? They repeat over and over again. So 80,000 could be a valid target, folks, but we need to get through 47,000 first. But I'm saying I wanted to show you this. This is what the market has done every single time. And it's kind of crazy, the pattern, isn't it? So right now, let's just see what happens this week. But I just want to give you an idea of the trend that's alive right now. You guys love this one, XLP NYA. It has been the guide. So I updated it. I always love to look for measured moves. This one stood out like it was a no-brainer. So basically we did that measured move again. But the key level is always the 786, folks. Got to stay above that. Now remember, what we also were talking about is we lose this level to the downside. Yeah, 47,000 is definitely going to get attacked. But there's a big buy pattern. Big buy pattern. And when the XLP starts outperforming, that means what? Risk off, which means stocks go down. But for now, we've hit some support. I think this is the key level for us to watch on this ratio. But I use this as my guide, especially with regards to the first 5 charts. It's patterns. It'll either work or it won't. And I can just get rid of all that other noise. S&P 500. I haven't updated this from 2 weeks ago. Why? We are basically bouncing around in here. Nothing's really changed. We still have some higher targets. We haven't made an all-time high. Do I think we will? Probably. I don't know. I really don't know. But we're not out of the woods is what I'm trying to tell you. Dollar index. Big deal. Big deal. This is a beautifully perfect buy the dollar. Period, dot, end of sentence. I would not be surprised if this pattern fails. If this pattern fails, look out below, folks. It could get ugly. But right now, that is a massive buy. So all of us, let's take a look. I'm leaning in a little bit. 95 on the dollar index is monstrous. Let's not monstrous support. It's a perfect pattern. Remember what we do, folks. We go project. I'm projecting. We extend. I'm extending. Then we retrace. I retraced here. I retrace. See this structure here? I use that structure. And then I use this one. We have a massive amount of confluence. And then after, remember what I tell you to do? Then you look for what? Structure. You look for polarity. So in this case, we're going down. We're interested in resistance. See that? And then this resistance becomes what? Support. It's right on it. Right on the projection. What will happen? And I think JC and the team at Stock Market Media, they always call it the oops. It's not hard to see this trend line here. And as soon as you break down, and then you got this upward trend line, right? It just goes through it a little bit, and everyone shorts it, thinks it's all over, and oops, off we go to the races. Or they're right, and they short the hell out of it, and it falls out of the sky. For now, dollar index, line in the sand, $95. $95. Whew, this is a big one. I actually updated this one. It's so this is a correction. See that? A, B, C. This is a correction. And now we're floating on down. This is a massive level, folks, on this ratio of the yen and the financials. I've shown it a couple times. Go back and look at the, I think it was 3 weeks ago, we did a little bit of a deeper dive. But basically, every time the yen versus the financials has found support, the financials have fallen out of the sky. It's been pretty ugly. So, guess what? Financials are the key to everything. We're getting close to some significantly powerful support. It'll either hold or it won't, but I'm looking at the financials, especially with regards to this ratio here. So keep this one in mind. And what's funny, folks, remember, we've been watching this. We've been tracking it. We're just waiting for it to hit. Okay. Haven't updated this one either, folks. Why? Because that is our line in the sand. Buy bonds at 101. This could be a multi-year bounce. Bounce, folks. That's what I'm calling it. We got 5 waves down. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're down here, right? We're lower. But it's such a pretty chart. I just haven't figured. I want to update it or change it. So right in here, this is monstrous support for our fixed income market, folks. Now remember, we got the tariffs. We got people dumping our debt. It's very interesting right now. 100 to 101 is the line in the sand, folks. I'll be a buyer of bonds. And remember, I'm still long TBT. As soon as we hit this level, short it or close it out and buy TLT. And that's what that green arrow is showing. I bet you this is a multi-month to potentially over a year-long bounce. Bonds go up. What happens to rates? They go down. So let's see what happens. Very, very important. I don't know why I'm doing the whole Indian thing. Just work with me. So when we go back here, we got a little bit more to go. What I'm interested in, or what's interesting to me, is the volatility really isn't that big. I would figure there'd be bigger moves, but if you remember, this is a weekly. So for a month, this ratio really hadn't moved. That's what I'm trying to talk about. I'm like, come on, do something. So when we go to the XLF, what we'd like to see is we'd love to see it smack that target as what? As the ratio hits that support. That is high probability trading. And when I say high probability trading, folks, all I'm trying to say is high probability of managing risk. Because if it blows through there, you'll have double confirmation that this level will go bye-bye, and what will happen to that ratio? It'll break support. And you're like, I'm wrong here. I'm not wrong here. The pattern failed. Key distinction. And I'm going to have to go ahead and cut this as a loss. But for now, here's our projection. Here is a, here's a extension pattern all the way up here. And then remember, here's every move, folks. Every move. This measured move. Here's again, this measured move. So it went higher. So I did this measured move here, but then I took from this move here, I made it a 1.618. So basically, let's say that whole 55 to 60, 54.47 on XLF, big deal. So I can see a world where the financials make a new high. People go all crazy. Okay, crazy, great. But ultimately, we're running into some significant support on the ratio and resistance on XLF. This market won't go down until the what? The financials participate. The banks lead us up, the banks lead us down. Financials, financials, financials. They're looking pretty good right now. However, let's take a look at what they do when they get to 54.47 or anywhere in that mid 50s to 60 level. Okay? That's what we're looking at. Ford, we've been watching her and she's been playing, but bummer, man. I wanted to go up and hit. Remember that from 2 weeks ago? I wanted to go up and hit that red line. Now, remember, I'm shooting the gap here. It's a great way to use trend lines. I shoot the resistance and I also shoot the support. So this is going to be some significant resistance for Ford, but our 3 drives to a bottom has worked out pretty good. It's only up $3, but still we're managing risk, folks. Coffee, we talked about it. Here she comes. Remember 2 weeks ago? Go back and look at it. This is a huge buy pattern. Project, extend, retrace, structure. This pattern falls right on the old all-time high on coffee. Buy coffee, and then what I would do, and maybe I can take it, but you see this wick here? So the structure is so important, folks. Maybe I can do a class on this. But from this high to this low, we have what? We have a downtrend. So in that case, what we're interested in is resistance. So it comes down to resistance, right? Resistance. Because then we take this red line, we copy paste it, and we send it over. And you see how that green line just cleanly cut through it? And then what it did, it came back and it bounced on it. So I would stop out on longing coffee below this structure right here. And so I don't know, that's about 290 or so. I can update it. But when you start really looking at these structures, it's really cool. It's like, so here's the structure, you go over, there's the support. It helps out a lot. But when you have a pattern completing on structure, that's a big deal. It really helps out managing the risk. But there's coffee. Buy coffee about 300 to 305. Folks, this one's a good one. Do you remember this one from 2 weeks ago? Here was 2 weeks ago. So, and Larry and I talked about this when I sent this to Larry Pesavento. This Uber chart has every pattern that Larry has in his books. It's got the ABCD. However, it's in log scale, right? So it's got the ABCD. That's this. It's got the extension pattern. This was a 1.618 extension. It's got a 3 drives to a top, drive 1, drive 2, drive 3. And then, no kidding, folks, it had a butterfly sell. So we literally had ABCD, extension, butterfly, 3 drives to a top. We had 4 targets. And so let's just think about Uber. Think that everybody's buying, and then it hit this pattern, and what happened? Folks, it's crazy. The exact high, and it sold off. Now, why do we have support? Well, we have a little ABCD here. Could that be the end of the move? I don't know. Maybe. But all I'm trying to tell you is it hit to the cent. It better have, because if it would have failed, I would have really been bummed out. Why? Because we had so many patterns in one area. I would have actually shaken my faith in, okay, at least we got a little bit of a sell-off, right? But yeah, I wanted to show you guys that because, man, it had everything going for it, okay? Boeing, talk to me, baby. Here we are. Remember when we were talking about this one? A, B, C, D, E. And remember when we were down there at the D? And I'm like, man, I don't know if we're going to be able to get up there. How are we going to get up there? Well, Trump, tariffs, Saudi Arabia, we're going to buy a bunch of Boeing planes, blah, blah, blah. Folks, I love triangles. The only problem is you don't really realize you're in one until you're here. So you probably tried to go short and got stopped out, and you tried to go long and you got stopped out. But basically, a triangle comes in 5 ways. We're up here. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. We're going to be short and Boeing in and around this area here. Now, out of a triangle, what happens? It thrusts. It goes. It goes quick. And usually triangles are what? They're usually not found in wave twos. They're usually wave fours. They're usually signaling an end of a move. So when Boeing ultimately hits this triangle, if it works, I have no idea if it will or it won't, it'll roll over and it should sell off pretty quickly, but then you want to be looking to buy Boeing. So right now, we've got our eye on actually 226, 224. Why? Well, when you look at a triangle, okay, the preceding legs are usually 0.618 of, or the legs after, the leg in progress is usually 0.618 of the same wave in the direction. So when we take this A wave, we measure it, that's 0.618. It's not really, it's probably right here. It's a guideline, it's not a rule. So this BC legs, 0.618 of it, this orange here, it takes us right up to about 226. So that whole 224 to 226 should, keyword, be the resistance which causes it to go back down. Now, 237 is really nice because we have a 1.618 extension and a 786. So that's why I'm like, this whole area, it looks pretty good. If we get above this E here, the 786, by a couple bucks, that's why I just threw 244 out there, then get out. And we could go up and hit this trend line, but usually if it goes above 786, it's going higher. And then what will we do? Well, it's probably going higher, but we'll do a projection. But I really want to see this triangle work out. Okay, folks? Nvidia. This is a really trippy one. So the Nvidia high was pretty easy to see, and basically it was because of the new Taiwan dollar. And I'll go over it if you want to see it real quick. The semiconductor index really had a massive price projection at the top. It was almost precise. So it was like, okay, you know what? Nvidia is probably topping too. Now, what I'm trying to show you here is these are the moves that kind of I got drawn into, just kind of looking at them like, wow, they kind of look the same. Well, guess what? They are. And then projecting from the gap, they are. And then this little move off of the low, I just made 0.618 of it. Look at that. So basically, what am I trying to do? Trying to find the harmony. Okay. Now, if you remember, this right here, this plunging low, it's correcting in three waves. And so what do I mean by that? So I projected this up to 1.618 and it hit it and it's held. Every single move has somewhat been these blue lines. That still takes us to 149.30, but here's the deal. It doesn't take us to a new high. But what's really, really, really important? Well, 153 calendar days ago is 5 days from now. Bart, it's time of internationals. Look at EFA, please. I'll take a look, Joe, and that'll probably be it. All right, I'll take a look at solar and EFA. But I want to talk about this here. We are squaring out the all-time high on Nvidia on January 7th, 153 calendar days later, June 6th through 9th. So and the reason I'm saying that, it falls over a weekend. Okay. So 5 days from now, let's see if we've got a pattern to buy or sell. I don't care. But we have a nice little timing component coming in on Nvidia. So let's watch that. We'll talk about it next week. June 6th to 9th, we're squaring out the high from January 7th. Calendar days. Now remember, you can also square out planets, but we'll just leave it at that. So for now, nothing to really do with Nvidia. Let's wait and see what comes in 5 days. Okay. Here's the gold miners. Now, the reason I'm bringing this one up is if in fact, and it's the big if, folks, I have no idea. I have no idea. Man, just imagine if someone from South America or Mexico or whomever flew in the Cannon Air Force Base and took out 40% of our strategic bombers. Do you think we'd do something? Okay. So we also talked about that buy on gold and I missed it, by the way. I was actually out of the business meeting and shit, and I don't chase it. Either get in at the level or that's it. It's just the way I was trained. In fact, I'll blame Larry on that. But if we're really hitting a pretty significant time of uncertainty, gold's going to skyrocket. It should. And so I think getting long gold could give us a little idea because of this right here. So if we look at GDX, folks, this is a perfect sell pattern, which means when it fails, it's even a bigger deal, right? But look at this, folks. So we project. Here we are back in 2016. Then we got a monthly, okay? And we're in GDX, gold miner ETF. Here's 2016. Here's 2020. Down we go to 2022, and we project $55 Fibonacci number. Then we do our extension. Bam, bam. We got a square root of 2 extension, 1.414. $55. All right. Now, what have we done before and where have we been? And so this is the thing, folks. Let's just take a look at the green. So here's this move to this move. That was green. This move to this move. That was green. This move down to this move. It's a little bit off. But this move to this move, green. Green's looking pretty good. This move to this move, orange. Orange, that's the move. Look at that. That's the measured move. How about this black move? That looks like a wave 3, doesn't it? Look at these candles, right? So that's a nice little structured move. Copy, paste from here. Bam, 55. Pretty cool. Now, from this, after the, initial IPO or whatever, the first day of trading, we kind of go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we crash. Purple move. Then we use the close and the open. Purple move. I take the all-time low. Purple move, 55. I'm thinking 55 on the GDX is a big deal. If gold's going to go crazy, that'll probably fail, folks, right? So for your options players out there, hedge that one. This is a perfect, beautiful sell pattern, folks. They don't get any better than that, which again means it could fail and explode higher. I'm just telling you. When I say it doesn't get any better than that, it's so tight that you can manage risk really well. And then when we take a look at all these different measured moves and harmony of this entire move since, 2006, it's all coming together at 55. So GDX, sell at 55. If we get above 57 on a daily close, go long, and then this thing's taking off, right? And we'll figure out another set of targets. But right now, 55 is a big deal for the gold miners, okay? Bitcoin, woohoo! Now, if you guys remember this one, I said, it looked like where the one was the all-time high. I do believe that we have a fifth wave in place, but here's the Bitcoin bullish scenario. We talked about it. And as you guys know, we're higher than we were, okay? We made an all-time high, and then it fell down. I still believe we have a fifth wave and work with Bitcoin, folks. I would not be all in on the bandwagon of Bitcoin. And there's some cycles coming in about a month or so. So right now, I'm looking at 120 to 130 as our next target for a wave 5 high, okay? Now, I'm also going to say that after this entire move, we've been doing this from about 2017 till now, so for 8 years, that's a 1. So whatever happens after this first 5 wave moves go up, there will be I believe it'll be the second wave correction, and you're going to want to get long again, and you're really going to want to get long for this one because it'll be a wave 3 and it'll explode higher. But that could be a year or 2, right? So I just want to let you know, Bitcoin has not topped. I do believe it is in a topping phase, and it is in a fifth wave. I really like this count, and right now my next target's about $1.20. Okay, hopefully that helps. You got about 14,000 to go, or 14. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not really thinking Bitcoin is 150,000. Obviously, it could be. We got World War III potentially coming, so I'm just looking at the charts, folks. Keep me honest. Bitcoin equals MicroStrategy, right? We kind of talked about that. We also talked about this target on MicroStrategy. So as Bitcoin's making, excuse me, sorry. As Bitcoin's making a new high, MicroStrategy did not, right? It did not confirm it. In fact, this is a weekly, folks. It's basically been down for 4 weeks. I want to see them trend together, because they basically should, because MicroStrategy has billions of dollars of Bitcoin. And so I use MicroStrategy as kind of a placeholder for Bitcoin, because I just don't want to look at one. I like the ratios. I like looking at different correlating factors. So yeah, we can see a world where Bitcoin kind of crawls up a wall of worry to 120, and MicroStrategy kind of hangs out for a little bit, and then they dump. But I'm not 100% bullish on Bitcoin. I just think we're in a fifth wave. We're getting close to ending it. I bet we could end in a week. Excuse me, in a month or two. Maybe July, maybe August. Okay. And so we come to the end, and then I'll go take a look at EFA and TAN. And I'm glad Pell's not resigning. Thank you, Toffer. My wife and I are celebrating our 35th anniversary today. She's my high school sweetheart. We started dating when we were 16. She is the bomb. She's one hell of a surfer. We surfed like crazy today. And we really had a good time. It was great. And so what can you do with the first 5 slides? You can do what that left picture shows. We said the heck with it and got out of town. We went to a place called Idlewild, and it was unbelievably gorgeous. And we sat in complete silence. Thanks, Spence. Spence said, congrats. And thank you. Thanks, guys. And we were in complete silence. Folks, there's nothing really we can do. But what we can do is we can put our mindset into joy, happiness, love, have fun with your neighbors. Spence is about to have a baby. Life is great, but it's pretty crazy right now. So when you're feeling that craziness getting going, you know what? Go out to the mountains, go surf, and just enjoy life, man. Because a lot of this is completely out of our control. By the way, I didn't see Bigfoot in those mountains, but I was looking for him. But anyway, yeah. Hello, 35th anniversary, me and my bride. And Spence, would be so cool if your baby comes today. It'd be perfect. So anyway, thanks, you guys. I really wanted to. I really want to let you guys know how serious I think this is. I'm not any more qualified to talk about this than any of you guys are. However, I can say I don't think many of you spent 13 years of your life on an aircraft carrier flying, high performance jets as a strike leader, graduated from Top Gun. I've been on the phone with probably about 4 or 5 people. 2 of them are still in. They're stars. They're admirals. 3 of them just recently got out, and they're all very, very concerned at this escalation. So get out, hike, be happy, surf, eat well, enjoy life, and let's just see how it rolls. Every time I've done one of these briefs, I said, I think we're going up this week. I think I'm going down. We should be, probably be a down week or and they've been right every time. This week, guess what I'm saying? I have no idea what's going to happen. Zero. When the president of the United States says Joe Biden's a clone, that's when I just might throw in the towel. Then we found Bigfoot again. Sentient AI is operating outside of the controls of OpenAI. And Russia just left 40% of their strategic bombs. Just make sure you got to stop, folks. Other than that, I don't have a clue. But let's go see what's going on with solar. So anyway, any questions, you guys? That's right, Tikor. And still going, man. We're younger than ever, brother. We have a great time. Yeah, my wife and I were actually thinking of doing a podcast. We're going to call it He Said, She Said. Yeah. Got a lot of lessons. But, man, it's been a good ride. She's great. And it's totally worth it, boys and girls. All right. Let's go to what else? Anybody else got any? Good to see you, Tikor. Everything. Hey, man, we've got everything calm over there. There we go. All right. Let's go to TAN. By the way, I know we were looking at utilities. Nothing's really changed. I still like that 3 drives to a top. Man, it seems a little high up there, doesn't it? But anyway, all right, TAN, solar. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Huh. Is that on O okay? So I'm doing a little loggy log. Why am I doing log? Because of that right there. It's funny, you guys. I wish I could do something like a poll or something, but real quickly, do you guys have moving averages and Bollinger Bands and Uchimichi clouds, 15 oscillators and everything on your charts? It's not that big of a deal if you do or don't. But all I'm saying is keep using those because they work. I failed CMT2. I mean, I flagged that thing bad. So confusing to me. A, B, C, D, E. All right. Take all that stuff off and just let the chart tell you. 1, 2. You see the triangle? A, B, C, D, E, 5 ways. What do they do afterwards? They dump, right? So I'm going 1, I'm going triangle 2, I'm going 3, I'm going 4, I'm going 5. Remember, I'm log scale right now. So now here's what my eyes drawn to right here. Boop. And that's probably way down there. Let's do this. And then one more. Isn't that wild, guys? See that, my eye? 886 is actually a really good ratio. All right. I'll tell you what I like. I'll tell you what I don't like. What I like is it's been a pretty strong move. Oh, look at this. Sorry. So a lot of times when I see this, folks, what I like to do is shoot it up. I'll go over here. I'm going to go to this guy, and I'm going to see that, folks? Isn't that crazy? Got to train your eye. You won't be able to do it if you got 85,000 oscillators on your chart. Excellent, Tigor. Let me know if I'm saying it right, too, okay? All right, Donna, moving averages work great. Donna, have you ever used exponential moving averages? Joe Napoli talks about them. They're actually pretty trippy to use. But if you take all that stuff off, you can see what I'm seeing. And right now, I'm just trying to figure out, okay, can we go lower or not, right? So the first thing is, all right. Okay. The first thing I'm looking at is this is definitely a 3-wave move. Do you guys see that? Right here. And so 3-wave moves are corrective. They're corrective in nature, unless it's a triangle or, you know, all that other stuff and double, triple threes. But most of the time, corrective moves occur in 3 waves. That's what I saw initially, okay? So if this is very bearish for solar, then we could go to new lows. Now, because of this 5-wave movement, and quite frankly, because of the energy, and I mean, we have solar here in Southern California, maybe a new bull market has started. The problem with it right now is wave 4 cannot go below what? The end of wave 1. That's right here. See that? Yeah, take a look, Don. Pop me an email if you want. Like expanded moving or exponential moving averages. Actually does a 3x3. I trained with Joe with basic Fibonacci tactics. I think he's fibtrader.com. Unbelievable guy and really good, smart. Okay, so this can't be 1, 2, 3. Why? Because 4 went below 1. But this can be 1, 2, 1, 2. We're getting ready to explode off in a wave 3. Where will that be wrong? Below 19 or below 1687, right? Wave 2 can't do what? Go below the beginning of wave 1. So what I'm saying here is, if we're bullish, there's wave 1, there's wave 2. This is wave 3. And that's still bullish. You can't go below this low right here, okay? And that was Toffer who asked, right? You got it, Donna, no problem. So right now, for solar to continue to be bullish, you basically divide it by 2. That's 3235, 1655. You got to keep above 16. If not, I bet we could plunge into here. Hopefully this is helpful. I'm not seeing any real patterns right now, right? I'm just not. My eye is, I'm off a log scale now, if you can't tell. My eye is actually drawn to here. I'll do one last thing for you, and then we'll get to the internationals. See that? So from here down to here, and look at this. It might be beautiful. So, oh, pretty nice. Not bad. So let's go with, and I know it's very far away, so I do apologize for that. But for now, let's be long solar. But bam. Yeah. Boop, boop. Isn't that crazy, guys? I'm telling you, folks, measured moves. Actually, I got a class. I'm going to do a class on that for us one time. You guys like that? It's about half an hour long. It'll convince you that this is the easiest yet less used technique ever. Measured moves. It's incredible. And that's why I actually put down this book. By the way, this is the Emerald Tablets. Read it. It's pretty trippy. But this tome, I mean, guys, it weighs like 25 pounds, this thing. Oh, my God. I'm serious. I'm not faking. Connie's book, 30-Second Jewel. Because I realized that all the astro stuff and music stuff, everything, fundamentals, everything is the measured move. And they happen all the time. And when you have a measured move and it lands on a pattern, it helps you what? Manage risk. But look at this. Here's our measured move. Here's our measured move, 0.886. So, Toffer, let's be bullish, solar, above 2612. Below 2612, it's going down to 16 at a minimum. Remember that? So hopefully that helps. Okay. And now one last one here. I just got to go. Was it EFA, I think? Right, guys? Yeah, EFA. And then we'll call it a qual. Spence, you're the man. Take care of that beautiful wife. Woo! Look at that thing. Holy smokes, they are taking off, aren't they? Thank you for this. Who brought that one up? Hey, Joe, thank you for this. Hopefully you're still on. But do you see what I see coming? Do you see what I see? We got a A. B. C. D. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Uh-oh. 91 bucks, brother. Oh. Nice. Well, okay then. And maybe we got another one. Survey says, oh, man, come on. By the way, I've been surfing today. It was just a joy, man. Oh, look at that. Boom. Oh, boy, do we have a really, really important level. Joe, I'm sorry, I keep looking over here because that's where I have the chat. Joe, thanks for bringing this one. This is pretty trippy, isn't it? Yeah, this is kind of trippy. Let's see. That one. God, that's a lot. Oh, like Poland, Japan. What's Y? What's I? India? Joe, we have literally hit the jackpot. This is, and we're being geeky, I know. And my wife's probably like, God, you're such a nerd. Check this out. Is Joe still on? I might have to post this one. So we're going to keep the blue. Do you guys see what I'm seeing or no? Because if you don't, it's totally cool. We're going to make these guys orange. I should do a class, shouldn't I? And just basic stuff. Right there. We have 3 projections, all 90 to 92. And now what do? We got to do extensions. So I'm going to pick this one. Hold on, let me change my orange here. You guys having fun with this? Probably not, but maybe you are. Donna, I'm stoked that you're going to try the 3x3. He's got a book, Trading with the Napoli Levels. I highly recommend it. That's where you get all the projections, 0.618, 10, 1.618, how to project. I took a course with him. It's actually really good. But yeah, and that's where he talks about the 3x3. And he does some really neat things in it. Ooh, we might even have a 3 drives to a top. Joe, the only reason I'm stoked, bam, look at that. Joe, the only reason I'm stoked is because we have so many projections coming into a tight level, right? So that means we can manage the risk really well. So you're going to want to short the internationals between 91 and 92, but don't be afraid that if it blows right through it, which we've proven it can, get long. Then we'll have to find another set of targets. So we've projected 3 times. And folks, thank you again, Joe. This is so much fun. We have come within like 50 cents of all 3 of those projections. Can you see how I did them? If you can't, don't worry about them. But basically, I'm looking at the swings. Okay. Oh, cool. Are you looking at it, Donna? Nice. So here's one projection. And I'm down here at the low. I go up to what? The first high there. Boom, 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 project. They're all coming together. Now, what do? We do extensions. Now, here's something that might be trippy for you guys. Don't mean it to be. But the equal octave scale of music is equal to the 12th root of 2. That's 1.05946. So when a dude or dudette comes in to tune your piano, they're using that ratio of 1.05946. And so C, when they go to D, they just go up 1.05946. E, 1.05946, right? The inverse of that is 0.9438. And that actually, we looked at that at the last chart, right? So we go 0.9438, bam. Oh, holy smokes, look, that's the exact low. So now when we go and we project, sorry, I'm just cleaning this up. We now use 1.0946. See? So it stopped at 0.9438. The extension it'll like will probably be 1.0946. You guys tracking? So I do that, and now I'm going to do that. Boop. 1.05946. Bam. There it is, right at that projection. Questions? It's crazy, isn't it? So I've done that extension. Now I'm going to do this one. That one to me looks like a square root of 3. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a 1.68. So I'm taking this high down to this low. Now remember, I already have it set for 0.618, 0.786, and 127. Just I have that done already. Now I'm going to do is take this puppy here, and I'm going to do 1.618. A little higher. So I'll want to, you know me, I like getting in there. There we go. That's a musical note, by the way. And so we're building a massive wall of China for these guys. We did a projection with the purple. So what do? We do an extension off the purple. Whoop. Bam! How about them apples? Shocking, I know. Here's the other thing I want you guys to look at. Remember I told you, even though levels get surpassed, they always like to come back and what? Act as support. Do you think there's any coincidence that the support was the 0.618? I don't. See it all the time, folks. These are harmonic breakpoints. Gone. Oh, we always want to do what? We always want to pay attention to the first initial move off a low. This guy right here. So I'm making, what do you guys think? Black? Let's go black. Black. I could spend all day on this thing. Let's see what this guy is. Let's throw it up there. I said throw up. Is anybody laughing? Probably not. That, you guys, is a look into my wife's life for 35 years. I said throw up. She loves me, though. All right. So I'm going to do that projection. Oh, sorry. I know we're getting to 5 o'clock and we got to go, but this is important. So we project. Boom. Boom. And there we go. And that's probably a square root of 2 projection. 1.4142. Yep. Look at that, folks. Landing right. All this is showing is I'm a geek and I've looked at this stuff too much. There's a lot more I could do with this. In fact, maybe I'll do it tonight just to have some fun and post it. But basically, as far as the internationals go, we've got massive support, or excuse me, massive resistance, Joe, about $90 to $92. So just Google it. As far, I got a question, book recommendations that goes into how the planets affect the markets. Just Google it. Anything. Larry's got a couple basic books. Larry Pesavento, Michael Jenkins goes into it a lot. George Baer. If you want to read a really trippy book, it's called The Egg of Columbus. And by the way, back in, I think it was the 50s. Don't quote me on it. Might have been the 40s. But this book sold for like $20,000, and it's only 19 pages, and that's done on purpose because it's square of 19. 19 times 19 is 361, which is the cycle of the sun. Don't get me started. But George Baer, The Egg of Columbus. Read it. It's a quick read, but realize that the entire thing is a veiled reference to planetary cycles in the market. That's pretty trippy. All the patriarchs in the Old Testament, their ages are actually synodic cycles of the major planets. Yeah, it just gets crazy. So just Google financial astrology and you'll have plenty of books. Some of them you have to watch out for because they're a bunch of shysters. But yeah, it's every squiggle in the market. Michael Jenkins told me, and I believe him. Every squiggle in the market is due to planetary influence. Yeah. So let me go EFA. EFA. And that's a monthly. Oh, let's do one more thing. This is the other thing I was going to do, and I'm sorry I didn't do it on solar. Maybe I could do it real quick, but we're actually getting pretty late. Is let's throw an RSI up there, right? Let's see if we got some bearish divergence coming into this high. So insert study. There's my RSI. Every once in a while, I'll just throw it in there to take a peek. Not really, right? We don't have any bearish divergence yet, but when it topped here, we kind of did. It did not have any here. How about here? It had none here. And that's kind of what we learned in the CMT is you don't need bearish divergence at every top. What you want is consistency. What did the RSI do at each top? And so you can see at most of the tops, there really wasn't. Here it had some. It was definitely starting to fall over. But the other subsequent tops, here's another one. Bearish divergence was not present. So I'm not really worried about it not being present, okay? So you guys, thanks so much for joining on your Sunday night. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the fact that Spence joined again to make sure that I'm not screwing it up, getting it started. And we wish you nothing but amazing joy and luck with your new little, I call them astronauts because your wife's been a spaceship. They've been hanging out in there, getting ready to pop out. So good luck with your astronaut. But Spence, you got to tell me when he shows up, okay? Are there any more questions? I love you guys showing up on a Sunday night. I really appreciate it. I think we're coming to our end, and I'm going to go make an amazing dinner for my wife. So let's see here. We're going to cut this one off and call it a qual. You guys have a great night. Keep the emails coming, and we'll talk to you next week. But you might just want to chill out this week because I just don't know what's going to go on. See ya. Hang in there.